Hello once again, everyone, and welcome to the Sanctuary. I'm your host, Kruznigex. Once again, we are playing Final Fantasy XIV: A Realm Reborn as a trip down memory lane. We are finally back into the main scenario quest line. We've got 2 more patches to do and a limited amount of time to do it. So, as such, a lot of these are going to be condensed in the next few. Let's go over the rules. First and foremost, I am doing this on New Game Plus as a warrior on Chris Valentine. Those are the first 2 rules. All of my instances will be either duty support or solo. That's it, because there's no more alliance raids, there's no more normal raids. I am done with that. Finally, I am doing this with quest or patch level appropriate gear. This rule may be broken if time constraints get too big. So, I'm warning you right now, if I break this rule, fuck it. It's my trip down memory lane, so I get to decide. Anyways, side by side, we are in the midst of patch 2.4. When we left off in 2.3, we had defeated Ramuh. We had formed the new Alphinaud formed the Crystal Braves, and the Isle of Val is still missing. But we have no time to reflect on this shit. Let's get right down to it, talk to Minfilia, and continue with the quest, Traitor in the Mist. Oh, pause for a second. I just remembered, in the event that I do notice something, it'll be short-lived in terms of noticing it. It'll most likely be short dialogue changes because I've already talked enough about it. Anyway, let's continue. Try as I might, I cannot shake a creeping sense of dark foreboding. But it avails us not to fret about the unknown. We must concentrate instead on the problems of the present. The primals have been relatively quiet of late, and the beast tribes who summon them are under constant surveillance by the Grand Companies. Should any suspicious activity be afoot, you may be certain that we will hear of it. And until such time as a permanent solution to the primal problem has been found, we can do little but wait and observe. As for the Ascians, Urianger is wholly dedicated to finding the means by which we may defeat the dark beings. Let us pray for good tidings on that front. But all of this you all know already. Let us speak then of more current matters, in particular the state of the Crystal Braves. Alphinaud did well to found the organization, but ensuring its smooth operation is another matter entirely. Though I doubt not that he is doing his best, I felt that a helping hand or 2 would not go astray. To this end, I offered to send some of the Archons to assist him, but he declined. You know how he is. You know how he can be, independent to a fault and singularly loath to accept help. Save, of course, when that help comes from you. Alphinaud has entrusted countless matters of import to your care in the past, and I believe he would not hesitate to do so again, were you to offer. I should be most grateful if you would go to him and support him in whatever manner you are able. We are going to be way ahead of certain things, because this is the last day before maintenance for Dawn Trail, so. Alright, let's talk to Alfie. What is it, Chris? And do be concise, I am rather busy. You would lend a hand, you say? I see. Well, now that you mention it, there is a matter that wants for attention. Given its sensitive nature, I was hesitant to entrust it to my braves. Demands upon my time are such that I had little choice. Which is not to say my men want for labor. Though we are but newly formed, there is already a great demand for our services, and we are hard-pressed to answer all petitions, but I digress. The fact is, I would sooner attend to this particular matter myself. but my presence is required elsewhere. That being the case, I have entrusted its resolution to my second-in-command, Captain Ilbad. Tell him that I sent you, and he will furnish you with the particulars. My thanks in advance, Chris. Ilbad?
Hail to you, Scion. How might we serve you? Commander Leveilleur bade you serve us? These are welcome tidings indeed. Given the sensitive nature of the task, I could not rely on one of my own.
Interesting.
That which I'm about to tell you, I tell you in the strictest confidence. Some days ago, we received certain documents from an anonymous source. They notified us of the presence of a Garlean agent within the ranks of one of the Grand Companies. Following some discreet inquiries, we identified a suspect among the Immortal Flames, whom we detained for questioning. Alas, the man was not our agent. He was but one of many men in the agent's employ. We pressed the traitor for a name, but he had none to give. He claims never to have met his master, whom he knows only as the Ivy. He was, however, certain that this Ivy had coiled itself around every part of the Immortal Flames. It would seem our quarry joined the company some time ago, and gradually recruited others to his cause. These conspirators are the vines by which he learns our secrets, all without exposing himself. It won't be easy to identify the Ivy amidst this tangled mass of subterfuge.
There we go.
But we have a tendril in our hands, and we shall follow it all the way to the gnarled root.
Works for me.
Now, much as I would prefer to proceed with due discretion, circumstances demand that this matter be settled post-haste. Garlemald's War of Succession nears its end, and it is feared that the Empire will soon resume its march on Eorzea. When it does, we can ill afford to have traitors in our midst. The Ivy must be rooted out now. We must begin by apprising General Reborn of our findings. I would ask that you accompany me to the Hall of Flames and remain on hand to see that things go smoothly. Assuming the Ivy's tendrils are as widespread as we believe, he will be aware that an investigation is underway, and if that is the case, he may well move against us. We must be prepared for anything, while taking care not to betray our purpose by seeming prepared. A simple enough task for a one-man army like you.
One-man army. All right, off to Ulda. All right, let's chat with Reborn.
Well, well, what brings you here, my friend?
He is here at my behest. Greetings, Reborn. It has been a while.
Hilbert, you old scoundrel. When they told me you'd be visiting, I scarce believed my ears. But look at you! The honored captain of the Crystal Bloody Braves. Who'd have imagined, eh?
Not many, but fewer still would have imagined your destiny lay in politics, old friend.
Aye, we've both come far, have we not? Lest you wonder, Hilbert and I go back a long way. We've been friends and rivals since we were lads. The last time we saw each other, Alamigo had just fallen, so you can guess how many summers it's been. And in all that time, not a word from the fool.
I like drinking buddies.
Well, my dealings tended toward the modest and mundane, unlike some I could mention. As I hear it, no sooner did you reach Thanalan than the brass blades clapped you in irons and dragged you off to die on the blood sands. Being a stubborn sort, you won 1,000 matches and earned yourself a place in the people's hearts while you were about it. Then, with your mountain of prize money, you bought the Colosseum and secured a seat on the Syndicate. Those balls, brother! Rags to riches does not do it justice. You're a hero to the common man.
Bah, spare me. I am no hero. If anyone is worthy of that title, it's our friend here. Next to him, I'm little more than a glorified butcher. But you, Wilbert, you sell yourself short. By all accounts, you are an adventurer of some standing.
I like to think that I did my part for the greater good. But if you're no hero, then I'm no adventurer, not in this company. Anyway. I have tidings.
So there has been progress.
Mm-hmm.
I've let it be known that this meeting is a reunion between old friends. None will give your visit a second thought. To convene elsewhere would only attract attention. Let us speak here, in plain view of all. So it is we who have been compromised. Teleji Adeleji's machinations have shaken Ul'dah to her foundations. In such uncertain times, a man's loyalty may be bought for a fistful of gil. But if this snake has truly been in our midst for as long as you say, we must needs consider a far graver possibility. Conspiracy. Could it be that the Monetarists have been in league with the Empire from the first? Very well. I will have my most trusted men investigate the matter. Continue your inquiries in the meantime. It does me well to see you again, old friend. When next we meet, let it be over a flagon of ale.
I look forward to it. Let us reminisce of bygone days, and drink to the future of our homeland.
Mm-hmm.
Flame General. You wear the mantle well, old friend. I must work hard if I'm to keep up. Well, it would seem your services were not required after all. I dare say we have Roban's prudence to thank for that. Still, I was glad of your presence. My thanks, Scion.
Hey, don't mention it. Right. Let's continue. Our hunt for the Ivy begins in earnest, Scion. Suffice it to say, we must tread warily. One misstep may well cost us our lives. Our business here is concluded for the time being. Let's return to the Rising Stones and report to Commander Levelier. Works for me. Hello, Alphino. We are returned from Uldar, Commander. And not a moment too soon. Something has happened. Trouble? You will recall that the Fourth was tasked with reconnoitering the rendezvous site used by the Ivy's minion and his Imperial contacts. Soon after you left, we received word that the unit was ambushed en route to its destination. God damn it! According to the report, one of ours has been taken captive. The Guardians are not wont to treat their foemen with dignity, and I have grave fears for her safety. We must dispatch a rescue party at once. Recall those braves who are afield. Begging your pardons, Commander, but we have not the time. I'm afraid I must ask for your aid once more, Scion. An ill-prepared rescue party will only serve to provide the Guardians with more captives, yet time is of the essence. Simply put, you are the best chance we have. Captain Ilbed has the right of it. I trust you are willing. But of course you are. Now, Alianne of the Fourth lies in wait in the Tangle near the entrance to Castrum Sentry. Take her out and she will apprise you of the situation. I'm gonna check my mount guide right quick. Alright, I have 4. I have the 3 mounts I usually use, so whichever one comes up, I'm just... I gotta edit my search info sometimes. You would aid us in the rescue mission? We are in your debt, Warrior of Light. Now, time is against us, so allow me to brief you on the situation. The Garleans fell upon us without warning, wounding poor Resh and calling her away to the castrum yonder. Outnumbered as we are, it was all we could do to flee and regroup. Even as we speak, the Garleans may be interrogating Resh, or worse. With her hurts, I fear that she will not long survive their attention. We must rescue her without delay. Our order may yet be in its infancy, but the bond that binds us is strong as Mithril. None of us will stand by while a comrade suffers. We, the remnants of the Fourth, will infiltrate Castrum Sentry. Please help us find Resh before it's too late. What mount am I taking in? Phoenix mount. Good. Mount that I like flying. I know the SDS Fenrir mount can fly, but I like keeping that on the ground. There she is. There we go. Okay.
Thank you. Where am I? Resh, thank the gods we found you! And thank you, Warrior of Light. Now to quit this accursed place. Resh cannot move with those wounds. She will need to be carried out. I believe a diversion is in order. I may trouble you to provide one. Given your reputation, I suspect the Garleans would be only too happy to grant you their undivided attention. If you were to create a commotion within the castrum, we should be able to steal away unnoticed. Let us speak again once we are safely outside these walls. Works for me. Already caused some damage, so... Why is my controller being wonky today? Alright, that's one. Nice. Come on. Got any more? No? Cool. Let's get out of here. Ah! My regalia type G. I can settle for that. I have awaited your return most anxiously, my friend. You have done us a great service indeed. Thanks to your aid, our comrade Raish is safe, and we suffered no further casualties. Words cannot well express my gratitude. All that is left is to report the mission's success to Commander Levalier. I shall go on ahead to the Rising Stones. Alright, let's head back. It does me well to see you thus returned. Though I doubt not your prowess, entering an enemy stronghold is generally considered to be a risky venture, and I must confess to having been a trifle anxious. Here you are, hale and whole, having succeeded in your mission as is your wont. Lest you wonder, the woman you rescued is being cared for by the Domans. Thanks to their expert ministrations, the danger is past. You have my gratitude, Chris. Allow me to thank you also, Scion. Resh owes you her life. We escaped with minimal casualties this time, but we can ill afford to be caught off guard again. The Empire is not an opponent to be trifled with. As you say, Commander, I will see to it that the men keep their wits about them. And it may yet take time, but I will not rest until we have identified and apprehended the Ivy. I have every confidence that you will succeed, Captain. As for you, Chris, I realize you have scarce caught your breath, but I'm afraid there is no rest for the weary. I require that you accompany me to Kurthus. I have been granted audience with an Asgardian dignitary, you see, and the men expressly requested your presence. Oh, do not look so surprised. You should be familiar with the trappings of fame by now. We shall depart as soon as you are ready. So far, so good. We have been blessed with a rare opportunity, Chris. an audience with an ambassador of the Holy See of Ishgard. We are to treat with Sir Emmerich, Lord Commander of the Temple Knights in Camp Dragonhead. It is considered a great honor to serve the Holy See directly as a Temple Knight. Needless to say, their leader wields tremendous political influence. We would be wise to court his favor. For that reason, I consider your attendance essential. If Sir Emmerich wishes to meet the man behind the legend, I would not deny him the pleasure of your company. The antecedent should see the wisdom of this plan when you request her permission to accompany me in Kurthus. Mayhap you feel this to be a waste of your talents, which could doubtless be put to nobler use? If so, I should remind you that more good can be accomplished with the stroke of a pen than the thrust of a sword.
A meeting with an Ishgardian ambassador? By all means, I think it's a wonderful idea. We have received no reports of etheric disturbances or unusual beast tribe activity of late. If Alphinaud believes your presence may help him secure more favorable terms, I see no reason to deny him.
Antecedent. I take it Chris has explained the situation.
He has. Yet welcome though these overtures are, I cannot help but wonder what prompted them. The Ishgardians have spurned all contact with the other city-states for decades. Why reach out now?
Would that I knew. The question of their motives is one to which I have given no small amount of thought. Alas, I know no more than is generally known. The notoriously reclusive nation of Ishgard, situated at the center of Abalathia's spine. Ruled by the Ishgardian Orthodox Church, at the head of which presides the Archbishop. Members of the original Eorzean Alliance, formed in the wake of Alamigo's fall some 2 decades ago. Friends of convenience, who withdrew from the Alliance as soon as the Imperial fleet was routed at the Battle of Silvertear Skies. Since which time, their borders have remained closed to all outsiders. They have rejected every single one of their former allies' calls to reopen dialogue, turning a deaf ear to their neighbors' pleas, even when the calamity loomed large. And on the fields of Cartano, where brave men and women laid down their lives in defense of the realm, their banners were conspicuously absent. I have tried to convince Ishgard to rejoin the Alliance at every opportunity. I have explained over and over again that unless Eorzea stands united, we cannot hope to preserve our freedom. One by one, our nations will fall, as once fell Alamigo. And what have mine efforts yielded? Why not?
Surely this can be considered a step in the right direction.
I should hope so. Rather than the lowly messengers we have been fobbed off with in the past, this time we shall meet with a man of genuine influence. Of course, I am not so naive as to think that they come to us out of the goodness of their hearts. We have something they desire, though I have yet to find out what. But such is the nature of diplomacy. They will bring their agendas to the negotiating table, and so will I, along with a handful of incontrovertible truths.
The Empire will soon be at our doorstep once more.
Indeed. You may be assured that I will expound upon this point and others. Let us depart for Camp Dragonhead, Chris. Our old friend Lord Hoshifond is expecting us. Since our quest to recover the Enterprise, I understand you have further ingratiated yourself with the man. Excellent work. His fondness may prove useful to our cause. Alright, off to Kurthus. Hello, Harshavant. Let's get to talking. Ah, Chris! Ever a welcome sight. Our hearts have been stoked to blazing in preparation for your arrival. It would not do for such a distinguished personage to catch cold whilst enjoying our hospitality. The gesture is much appreciated. I fear I shall ever struggle in cold climes. Ah, good Master Alphino. An honor as always. Likewise, Lord Harshavant. Forgive us yet another imposition. I fear we have relied over much on your aid since you so generously assisted us in locating the Enterprise. Nonsense! Any debts incurred have long since been repaid. Besides, who can say what the future may bring? House Forton may even seek the aid of your newly formed Crystal Braves. In any case, I am simply delighted that the Holy See is at last willing to grant you an audience. No doubt your discoveries at Snowcloak helped to justify the decision. This recent resurgence in heretical activity is of grave concern to us all. But to the matter at hand. Sir Emmerich arrived in Camp Dragonhead earlier, and I am told he is eager to meet with you at your first convenience. You are doubtless weary from your journey and desirous to rest a while by the hot warmth of our hearth. But if you are willing to forego such comforts, pray inform the knight stationed outside the intercessory. He will grant you entrance and send word to the other attendee. As inviting as your host sounds, I think it best we proceed to the intercessory forthwith. Yep, because we've got a lot to do and only a little bit of time to do it. Already 6:21 where I'm at. We have been expecting you, sir. Pray, take your ease inside, and I shall summon the others.
Have faith, my friend. You need only state your case with confidence and clarity.
Commander Leveilleur, it is both an honor and a pleasure to meet you. I am Emmerich, Lord Commander of the Temple Knights.
Alphino Leveilleur, at your service. Your reputation precedes you, Sir Emmerich. I think we will find that we have much in common.
Speaking of reputations, yours towers over us all. Does it not?
It does indeed, Lord Commander.
I am not too proud to admit that I have followed your activities with an interest bordering on fascination. Full glad was I to learn that you would be joining us. Now then, shall we begin?
We know full well that the Garleans will return in force ere long. What is more, we have yet to achieve a lasting victory over the Primal Menace. The Beast Tribes continue to summon their gods, and each incarnation is stronger than the last. Ishgard is not immune to these threats. I must reiterate that it would behoove your nation to rejoin the Eorzean Alliance.
Once again, I must respectfully disagree.
On what grounds?
Despite their presence in Kurthus, the Ixal do not concern us. Their territorial claims pertain to Gridanian lands, and it is the people of Gridania whom they harry. Consequently, the Holy See judges this to be a Gridanian affair, and Ishgard does not intervene in the internal affairs of other nations. Even were that not the case, our forces are wholly committed to the Dravanian conflict. We have not the knights to spare. As for the Garleans, we are not ignorant of history. We have observed the rise and expansion of the Empire, and we agree that it is only a matter of time before they resume their campaign in Eorzea.
Then surely it would be in our best interests to present a united front.
Mayhap one day, but not yet. Gaius van Belsar is dead, and the legion of conscripts he left behind lacks the will to fight. We think it highly unlikely that they will emerge from behind the walls of their castra for some time.
Forgive me, but if Ishgard's position has not changed, why did you agree to this meeting?
It was not only as a representative of Ishgard that I came here.
Pardon?
It is not within my power to change Ishgardian policy, regardless of my personal feelings. There is, however, one area in which I may exert a measure of influence. Concerns have been raised over the supplies House Fortin has offered to Revenant's Toll. These have led to calls for restrictions on the provision of aid to foreign powers. I can ensure that the shipments continue unabated.
Sir
I used to
Emmerich,
think
we would be in your debt.
I used to think Emmerich's such a tool for this. He was acting
No,
like a mob
you would
boss
not.
in this one.
For I require something in exchange.
An offer you can't refuse.
Of late, there has been a flurry of Dravanian activity, the purpose of which was not immediately clear. However, our astrologians have since observed alarming changes in the heavens. The dragon star waxes unnaturally bright, and there are whispers that it portends the resurrection of Midgard-Sorma.
The fallen guardian of Silvertear Falls? That's absurd.
Full many times have I gazed upon the dragon's corpse still wound around the Agrius, and wondered how different our world might be if it yet lived to plague the skies. I do not know, and I do not wish to know, nor does any son of Ishgard. Yet the mere presence of Dravanian forces is not sufficient grounds to send knights to Mordona, whatever our astrologians say. As I told you before, we have not the forces to spare.
But we do. So you will intervene on our behalf if we agree to watch over the Keeper of the Lake.
Do you accept these terms?
I do. I will see that you are kept abreast of any developments. I regret that we could not come to a similar agreement on other matters, but I understand that you are not at liberty to make such decisions. Nevertheless, I hope that what we have accomplished here today will serve to demonstrate to your countrymen that we can work together towards a common goal. Mayhap one day we shall look back on this moment as the first step towards a united Eorzea.
Mayhap we shall, Commander.
What is the meaning of this? The caravan, my lord. It's been attacked. It was Iceheart, my lord.
What? By the Fury! All our precautions were for naught?
Okay, we're gonna take a quick break. If you're watching on Twitch, stay tuned. If you're watching on YouTube, here are the links provided. See you in a bit.